she's just right around the corner. And in fact, Ria is here also. She's right around the corner. We're all here at Studio Works. So anybody, I'm just going to give this little commercial here since it's an opportune time. Hi, Ria. Anybody in the Dallas-Fort Worth area who's looking for a place to work? Studio Works. It is a creative co-working space, specifically designed for designers. But we're also open to the other trade industries. So if you want to network with an architect or a builder or anything like that, that's who's invited to spend time with us. So that's why we're all here in the same space. I'm in one of the extra offices, which is why, oops, I'm plugged in, which is why it's white and not decorated. So it looks like I'm here with my, I should have a mug shot. I should have a little thing here, right here, and some hype. Anyway, what are we talking about today? Today, thank you for being here. First of all, Happy New Year to y'all. What a crazy 2023 it was. And that's what we're talking about. We're talking about our business focus. So for those of you who are new around here, let me introduce myself a little bit. My name's Michelle Lynn. I am the president or CEO of ML Interiors Group, which is an award-winning interior design firm in Dallas, Texas. That firm is established enough that it runs itself based on our processes and procedures, that it allows me to step aside and do what, y'all, I really, really love. And that is teaching other interior designers how to run the business of their interior design business. Like, I truly believe that all of the struggles and all of the heartache that we went through getting ML Interiors Group solid, it was just God's way of putting me here with y'all so that I can help you avoid those obstacles and avoid those headaches as much as possible, or at least lessen them for you. As I teach interior designers how to scale their interior design business from no or low to 6 figures in revenue. So we're talking today about what ML Interiors Group is focusing on our business going into 2024. So Hallie, that's what I was making some notes on, just so I could stay succinct, because I have so many ideas for the business. But so I can stay succinct with our conversation today. So let's before I tell you what we're doing in 2024, I want to go back a little bit and talk about what has brought us here. So 2020, as we know, was just like a year, right? Was it not a year? It was like a year. So this is when the pandemic occurred. People were locked in their homes and they were looking around and they were going, oh my God, my house needs work. Like, they weren't happy. They were unhappy in their homes. They were not in love with their homes. Some of the clients that we interacted with, they hated their homes. They're like, oh my gosh, I had never looked around and seen just how terrible this is until they were locked in their homes. So 2020 really brought a focus on our audience to their living spaces. And it wasn't necessarily by choice, but 2020, like, we thought that 2020 was just going to be pretty slow, but we really started seeing business pick up. Oh, Hallie, are we recording this? I'm not sure if we're recording it. Let's pause still.
We don't need to.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Because I forgot to record the one in the bakery, half of it the other day. So I'm a little sensitive to that. Okay, so 2020, we ended up with the year with people getting antsy. They wanted to update their homes. They wanted to renovate. They wanted new furniture. Heck, some of them just wanted to move, and they actually did move out of whatever city they were living in because they were able to work remote. So 2020 really started ramping up business. 2021 was freaking crazy, like loco. And 2022 was pretty busy as well. People, I think the interest rates started adjusting in 2022. So we saw a little bit of a pause, but it really wasn't even tapping on the brakes. It was more like a little speed bump. 2023, for anybody here listening, if you're in 2023 and you were thinking, geez, my business is really slowed down, you are not alone. You are not alone. Our business slowed down. I talk to hundreds of interior designers every month, and everybody's pretty much across the board has slowed down. So if you're thinking that, oh, shizzle, what am I doing wrong? or what's going on, it's not just you, okay? It is across the board. So 2023, from a business standpoint, did not see as many inquiries, or if we did get the inquiries, they were looking at going through the process in phases and not necessarily all at once, where we love the projects where they're just like, okay, let's take the entire first floor and renovate and decorate and do all the things. Well, anybody who had that type of a project in the past, they were breaking it down and they were breaking it into phases. So in 2023, we were seeing we were seeing fewer inquiries, and the inquiries that we did have were not as robust in the size of the projects. Now, they might be as robust at the end of the project, but it's spanning over a few years instead of spanning over a year in general, or 2 years. This is going to be a 5 or 6 year project, room by room by room through their home. So 2023, it gave us those indicators. So that brings us to today. What are we looking at as our business focus for 2024? Our business focus is going to be maximizing the revenue that we do have. It's going to be, and I'm going to talk about this in a little bit more detail, but just a quick overview. It's going to be maximizing the revenue that we do have. It's going to be marketing and being strategic and automating and taking some time to just breathe and reestablish some of what might have gotten lost in some of the busy work the past few years. So let's start with, let's just go back to the basics. We are going to be focusing on our processes, okay? We're going to be tightening up our processes. And this means everything from that initial phone call when they first call us, signing the contract, okay? Making sure that we're taking on clients that are aligned with our brand, with our scheduling expectations, and so forth. What I mean by that is that we have our ideal client profile. Our ideal client profile, in a nutshell, is very respectful of us as professionals. They're not anticipating or expecting or demanding that we show up on their timeline, weekends, nights, and holidays, things along that line. So we're still keeping our boundaries. We are going to be maximizing the revenue that we do have coming through. And what I mean by that is that we are ensuring that our scopes of work are like balls out, like fully detailed, and that we're explaining it to the client in full detail, and we're charging appropriately for it. Are we going to be able to charge the same amount that we could have charged 2 years ago? Possibly not. I think we are going to be assessing that to see if we need to be a little bit more conservative, just because people are going to be a little bit more hesitant, maybe a little bit more cautious. So we're playing with that. But let me just clarify, we're not discounting. We're not discounting, but we may be just not be pushing the limits as much, because normally what I say is that you want to push your pricing limits, and depending on where you are in business right now, you want to be pushing your pricing limits until they start saying no. When they start saying no, you know you've kind of hit your sweet spot for the sophisticated, for the level that you're at in sophistication in your business right now. So with that, I don't know if we're going to be pushing for as many no's this year as we would have 2 years ago. So my goal is that we're going to maximize the revenue for the inquiries that we do have that align with us as our ideal client profile. Additionally, we're going to be maximizing the revenue that we can generate through the sale of furniture, and ensuring that we're working with vendors that allow us to get our wholesale pricing or to the trade pricing, the best pricing we can possibly get, and sourcing through them even before other vendors that might not have as much benefit to the trade. Now, that doesn't mean that we're going to sacrifice quality or selection for our clients just because we can make more money on another vendor, but that does mean that we should go to that vendor first. Juliana, you got that? So with that, that's how we're going to be maximizing revenue. It's also going to be taking a look at going back and assessing our existing service offerings. Because the past few years, sure, we have had the majority of our inquiries are going to be for full service interior design. But now, do we need to be taking a look and potentially promoting or at least talking about it a little bit more? Our Designer for Our Day, which is a consultative service, a modified interior design service. Like, are we going to be talking about that a little bit more? Do they need to be on my website? Do they need to be higher up on my website? Things along that line. So going back and taking a look at the basics, this is a great time to be doing so. This is a great time for y'all to be doing so. Getting out and networking. When I say networking, what I mean by this is getting involved in organizations that mean something to you. Maybe it's your kid's private school, maybe it is different charitable events, maybe it's through your church, anything along this line, getting out and letting people know what you do. So maybe you're going to your church groups, or you're going to the charitable organization events, or you're going to your kids' school events or things like that. And you're not necessarily talking about business. You're showing up. I'm showing up as Genevieve's mom. Okay. I'm showing up as Genevieve's mom. Well, now I'm going to be Genevieve's mom, but oh, here, if you need any help, I might be handing out some more business cards. Okay. So you're going and you're networking and you're letting people know what you do. Now, you should still be going to your networking groups, women's groups, maybe Chamber of Commerce, things along that line. You're probably going to have to ramp that up as well. I'm looking into which organizations I might want to get plugged back into. Keep in mind that the seeds you're planting today in January, February, March, more than likely, they won't be calling until summertime. And depending on what they have going on in the summertime, you're planting seeds now for what you're going to harvest in the future. So just because you're going today does not necessarily mean that you're going to get a call next week. Okay. So this is what we're doing. We are networking. Our social media. We are revamping our social media. So if you want to have some fun, watch ML Interiors Group in late January and beginning of February and March. Get some ideas from us. So I'm getting the team involved. So it used to be me doing most of the business development, the social, handling the social media, those types of things. Now, because I have Debbie, Juliana, and Zoe, we've tasked them to get on board and help. So we're going to have more. If you have people that can help promote your business name, these are things, take advantage of them. Shit, I should have done this 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago. But in that respect, leverage your team as much as you can. Give your acquaintance, give your any associates that you have, make sure they have business cards so they can be out handing out their business card, and set up a commission structure so that if they bring business that you can compensate them for that. It's a good incentive. So networking, social media, our marketing in general. I'm working on additional automations. So anything that we can automate. And here's a gratuitous plug. We use Sidemark. It is a CRM, social media, automation, email marketing, like all the things. You can do it through there. So you can do it once, plug it, and it's done. Thank you, Hallie. You're so fantastic with the chat. Let me see. I open up the chat. There we go. Special training, word of mouth in the guide section. Oh, good. Thank you, honey. So anything that can be set on automation, anything that you can do one and done. I'm looking to promote our lead magnet. Okay, and maybe creating more lead magnets so that we can bring people into our email list. So y'all, let me just tell you, social media is one thing, but you don't own your contacts. You do not own your followers on social media. So this is a great time to be making sure that your email marketing is on point. Make sure so I'm making sure that our blogs and our search engine optimization, that those are maximized. So your blogs and, I heard of something the other day. I'm gonna share it with you. I'm not sure. I haven't tried it yet, but it's called Ask the Public. I think it's called Ask the Public. And it's what I'm gonna try here in just a little bit, to figure out like, what are some of the topics that our design clients are looking up? So that even if they're not gonna hire us, they come to our website, read the blog that we're writing on, that gives you Google juice. So these are the types of things that we're doing for our business focus. It's it's also going to be, being financially frugal. Go through all of the subscriptions that you potentially have and unsubscribe to some of the stuff you don't need. What I mean by that is anything that you're paying for that you're not using, go through, get a list of subscriptions from your bookkeeper and ruthlessly edit those. If they're not making you money, do you really need them? Like I had a bunch of social media things that I had on my phone that were just through Apple. Okay. The business wasn't paying for it, but I was paying for these stupid things that I wasn't using. Go through, get rid of those. If you have the Canva for pros that you're not using, just go down to the free Canva. Same thing with Zoom. If you're not using Zoom for more than 45 minutes in some of your meetings, do you really need to be paying for it? So these are the types of things. I'm not saying that it's a scarcity mindset. Like we're not going through and cutting stuff but it's a chance to take a breath and assess things from a different point of view. So I don't know about y'all, but we were closed for 2 weeks over Christmas. And that first week I still worked. Like I still came into the office and I worked. But that week between Christmas and New Year's, like you don't know what day of the week it is, right? You don't even know, like, am I still wearing my pajamas? When did I last wash my hair? Like I'm so full of tamales, what's going on? So in that respect, that week gave me some beautiful downtime. My mind was clear. We had the opportunity, like I was able to hang some new art that I went and just hunted around at some treasure shops. I organized my husband's office, which, oh my God, I've been wanting to do that for a couple years now, but I never had the actual bandwidth because I've been so busy with other things. Like, when you just want to lay there. Okay, this year for 2024 is going to be the same thing for us internally for a business. It's going to be time to assess what works, what doesn't work. What do we need to improve upon? What do we need to eliminate doing? Where can we continue to serve our clients? Because keep this in the back of your mind. While this is a business and we're going into 2024 and the market has slowed down, we've got a lot of unknowns. There's just a lot of unknowns in general with the market, with the economy, with the election coming up and all of these things. But this is a great opportunity to remember that we are here to serve our clients. We are here and focus on the giving, focus on the abundance, focus on the serving instead of just the finances. Where you put your energy is what you're going to reap what you sow. So focus on serving your clients, focus on changing their lives, focus on providing them with a sanctuary to begin and end their day. Focus on creating a backdrop for the memories that are being created in their home. The images their children are going to have in their head when they grow up and they think back to growing up. So yeah, Anton's talking about a small business Facebook group. Yeah, that's another great place to network. Like some of the moms groups, those are great as well. So small business Facebook group. So get creative and keep in mind as well is that some of what you're planting today may not come to fruition until 2025 or 2026. It's the consistency. So keep showing up. Keep showing up. Keep serving your ideal client. And that's what we're going to be focusing on. Like, I'm not participating in whatever that R word is. Okay. If somebody's talking about rhymes with depression, and it starts with an R, we're not participating. So don't focus on any of that. Don't focus on the crazy economy, politics, and the stupid news. Focus on what you do best, and that is serving others and creating beautiful spaces. Focus on your business. Focus on the basics. That's what we're going to be doing. It's not complicated. It's not necessarily easy, but just go back to the basics. For those of you, I see a couple people here who have joined the Interior Design Business Bakery. Yay. Focus on that. Put your foundation down and just put one step in front of the other. Okay. For those of you who are not in a position to invest in your education for your business, take time to go through and listen to podcasts. Listen to individuals who have done the work before you and stay focused on your growth. So I hope that helps. I hope, if anything, it just gives you a little bit of hope that you're not alone if you are feeling a little bit of a slowdown, that you're not alone, that you can come here once a week. And Hallie, I don't know what we're talking about next week. Do you know what our topic is for next week? But we're here for you. So stick around. Focus on the basics. Stay positive. Okay. Don't get lost in that whole feeling of, get lost in abundance, not in the opposite. I can't remember what that is right now. Scarcity. End of the month. Thank you. Ways to measure success as a designer. Thanks, Hals. All right, guys. I think that's what we're talking about next week. Ways to measure success as a designer. So come back, share your wins in the Interior Designers Business Launchpad. If you're part of the bakery, share your wins there. Let us celebrate those. Let us celebrate those so that we can continue moving forward together. And Corinne, yay, you agreed you had another designer client you met in a Facebook chat that you've been freelancing with this. Yay, yay, yay. Oh, thanks, Corinne. I've missed this little group too. I've missed this little group. I'm not kidding, y'all. I know this is where God has me. I am just so tickled to be here with you guys, and I love hearing your wins. So if you post them in the groups, please make sure you tag me so that I can come and give you a virtual high five. All right, so I'll see you guys next week.